Hey, welcome to the channel. I'm going to show you how I installed our lithium battery on our Ember 22 ETS. See, there's no battery up front here. I'll come back out here in a sec. So if these lithium batteries are super expensive, don't really want it outside on the front. So best spot that we could find was under the bed here. It's a RedODO 12.8 volt, 410 amp hour lithium phosphate battery, lithium iron phosphate battery. I have a link down in the description. I actually have a discount code you can use. I'm gonna get a tiny little commission based on it, so I can't really give a review on the battery, but I will say it has a lot of charge and it's been reliable and the price was just right. They're not cheap, but it was probably the best deal I could find. So I was able to use the existing cables that came on the trailer. This cable used to be out on the front. So did this breaker right here, this 150 amp breaker. All I added was this short 8 gauge jumper cable. You can get these for connecting 2 golf batteries in parallel. And I also added this Victron SmartShunt. Unfortunately, I didn't video the install, but I did take some pictures. So I'm gonna go through those pictures in a little bit. Just a heads up though, you need to drill a hole right there in the corner. Just double check with a measuring tape where that hole will come out, and luckily there was nothing down there. There's no water tanks, there's no cables or wires on this unit, but your unit might be a little different. Okay, let's head outside. So this is where that breaker was. There was a red cable, the positive side, coming off to go to your battery. There was also a negative cable here that came underneath and was drilled into the frame for a ground. So it was actually a really simple install. You just come underneath here and you'll see the underbelly material. So you just got to drop this down. So initially that battery cable was up underneath the belly material, and it actually went up through a hole in the floor, and that hole is right behind this panel. You pull this panel out, you'll see behind our battery lockout or our battery cutoff switch where that cable is eventually attached to. So all I had to do was, instead of the cable going through the hole in the floor and out to the front of the trailer, is I just put that towards the back of the trailer, drilled a new hole that came up under the bed, and just installed the breaker under there. The ground cable wasn't long enough, so underneath the frame, I had to drill a new hole somewhere just on the back side of this frame here and attach my ground cable there. I'll guide you through those photos now. All right, I'm gonna do a little screen record. Here's these photos I took way back in May. So this is looking underneath the trailer, and I've dropped down the underbelly material. This is the breaker on the front of the trailer. This red cable goes to the positive side of the battery, and then this other red cable from the breaker goes up underneath the frame, and where this bundle, this wire harness is, it goes up through the floor here, and that's behind the panel where the battery shut-off switch is. You can also see the ground cable is connected to the frame there. That ground cable was too short, so I believe I just moved it back to this one. So you just had to drill a hole. I sanded off some of the paint, re-screwed it in there, and then covered it up with some fresh black paint, because the color matters under the trailer, right? All right, let's go to the next image. It's just another one of the underbelly. Here's, again, you can see the red cable, kind of blurry, but it goes up through the floor there to the battery cutoff switch. This is just another one underneath the underbelly there. I believe I drilled the hole somewhere around here under the bed, and it dropped down. Here I've taken that access panel out. It's a bit of a pain to get out, not gonna lie. Our solo controller is sitting there right in the way, but you can wiggle it out. This is behind that panel. This is the battery disconnect. This right here is that solar on the side connection. So anyways, you can route those cables, or you can track that cable all the way to this point. And you can see there's a whole bunch of extra bundled up in here, so it was plenty to get to underneath the bed. Somewhere around here they drop down behind, or drop down through the floor. Just another angle. Yeah, you can see all this sawdust here. That's where the hole in the floor was to go down underneath the trailer. Here is the breaker on the front of the trailer before I took it off. One thing I'll point out is they have these special 8-point screws. They're not Torx bit. You can put a number 2 Robertson in there, but what happened with me is I got one off and the other one stripped out. So I had to get some creative with some channel lock pliers and just kind of take it off by hand. Okay, this is the cable that goes to the battery. This is the ground cable that goes to the battery. And this one goes up underneath the trailer. So I have the battery set in there. I drilled a hole. Looks like I was using a 1-inch big spade bit or whatever you call that for drilling through wood. There's the hole through the floor. You can see the underbelly material down there. Here is the battery cable pulled up through the hole. So yeah, it's just a short distance. This is the hole I drilled under the floor. And this is the hole that was already there. Again, that goes behind that access panel. So from the battery, the cable comes down and then up through there. And that's it. Basically done. This ground cable, I just screwed it into the frame somewhere over here. Now I just had to mount this breaker to the side here. You can see where this kind of decorative panel, it's stapled in to the 2x4 right here. And so it was a good spot to screw it in. So I installed a SmartShunt right here. Again, you can see where the staples are. That's going into the frame, the wood frame. So I just screwed it right in. This is my ground cable that I bought years ago. I used to have two 12-volt golf cart batteries on our last trailer. This is for connecting them in parallel. So it's perfect. I think it's 8 gauge, probably about 8 inches long. And then that's that other length of power cable that was on the front of the trailer before. That goes from the breaker to the battery. And you can see my install here for the SmartShunt wiring. Definitely buy one of those Victron SmartShunts. If you are curious, you know, how this is a huge battery, but you have no idea how long they last if you're used to using golf cart batteries. So it's really cool to be able to monitor the remaining capacity. I just took some 1x3.5, I think, 1x3, screwed it to the floor. This battery had some rope handles, so I just kind of used those with a little piece of hardware there. Just keeps it from sliding around. It's probably good. I got a bunch more photos. I was just exploring the trailer, you know, when we first got it. This is the reason why we bought this trailer. Well, one of the main reasons. We can put our e-bikes in the back, charge them up, and it has a walk-around queen-size bed. So far, so good. Pretty happy with it. Oh, okay, this is another angle of the back of that panel. This is the battery cutoff switch. This is the solar on the side port. No, wait, this is the solar on the side port. This is just a little bus bar. Drop any questions you have in the comments down below. I'm sure I missed something, but overall, pretty simple install. Really happy with that lithium battery. I have a storage box on the front of the trailer now, which gives me a little extra space. And the battery is inside the trailer where it's secure. Don't have to worry about it getting stolen. Also keeps it somewhat warm. Those batteries, they don't function once it gets below 5 degrees Celsius. All right, thanks for watching. Smash that subscribe button for me. Share it with someone that can use this information. And we'll see you in the next one.